and welcome to another edition of Dish It Out. I'm with, of course, Chef Frank Benowitz.
Hello.
And who are you with?
I'm with the one and the only. He ain't no chicken, Chef Doug Fee.
Hey. Well, welcome to Dish It Out. We're going to be making some chicken recipes today.
This one's looking a little frozen.
Wow. So we're going to make some chicken soup, make a little chicken stew, and we have some special dessert on the menu today.
Special dessert. You're going to love it. Very, very in tune with the fall season. Let's leave it at that.
Yes. So join us. We'll be right back for Dish It Out. Really? Welcome back to Dish It Out. We're ready to get started here.
Medicinal soup, chicken soup. This is actually from the Food Network, Aisha Curry. This is her recipe for Mom's leftover chicken soup. So we're working with her at the Valley Forge and also in Lancaster for the food shows and food and wine shows. And this is one of the recipes she's going to do from her book. So excited to show it to you. Very easy. Watch how easy this is.
All right, I'm watching because I got nothing over here.
Well, the hard part is prepping everything, and a lot of times you can buy things already sliced up these days at the supermarket. So, some butternut squash diced up. I'm just going to add. I think that's enough. What do you think?
Okay, carefully measured amount.
Yeah,
exactly.
Probably about a cup and a half. Cut everything else, and then cut these sandy leeks, and then just rinse it good to get all that out because nobody wants to eat that.
Exactly.
So you can see nice and clean.
Very good.
So we're going to add that in here. A nice big handful there.
Very clean.
Yes, clean. So some leeks, some butternut squash. The butternut squash is actually used instead of carrots in this recipe. This is about half of a yellow onion diced up. Okay. But, this recipe actually, you put all the vegetables. This is just some celery. This is a couple stalks of celery, just diced up. And then a little fat in here because I'm using dark meat only chicken today. But obviously you can use white meat if you want to. And her recipe calls for this to be shredded, and it actually says a couple handfuls. So I'm just going to kind of break that up. And this is a great way to use up that leftover rotisserie chicken. A lot of times groceries have them on sale, right? So you can just...
Exactly. All those leavings behind on the cutting board after Thanksgiving. That dark meat has a lot of flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot more forgiving as far as cooking times. Compared to your breast meat, it's going to have a lot more flavor, be more moist.
Is that enough chicken for you?
I think so.
All right, so my hands are getting a little dirty from that.
Kind of noticed that.
Oh, is that for me? Oh, you're too good to me. I'm gonna put some more chicken in there. Why not, right? So
more protein. All right.
More flavor too, right? It's chicken soup. So, and you can put as little as or as much as you want. Obviously, you can use. Thank you, Chef E. Appreciate it. You know, like I said, you can substitute turkey, but you can also substitute carrots for the butternut squash if you want. Right. This particular recipe has that, and you can see there's a lot of chicken in there. Can they see that?
I don't know that they can.
Can you see that? Can you see that? I know you can't smell it because guess what? You still don't have
Smell-o-vision, and they don't have the right. Here we go.
Oh, is
there
that
we
the,
go.
there? Now they can see.
Not that camera, that camera, that camera, that camera.
So we're going to also add to this 1 sprig of fresh oregano, and unfortunately we don't actually have any fresh thyme today.
Okay.
So we're going to use dried, and we've talked about this before. Dried spice, we want to use about 1/3 the amount. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of dried thyme in there. And this is just for some flavor, so fresh is always best, but if you don't have it, what are you going to do? A couple bay leaves in there.
Couple bay leaves, and how many? 2? We want to count those. We get 2 out, so no one's eating bay leaf later.
Absolutely, no one wants to choke on that. So, all right, so now 4 cups, so a quart of chicken stock. So some nice chicken stock. Okay. And then the same amount, equal amounts of stock and water. So basically just enough to kind of cover all of that. This is only going to simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And this is just a little of the hooch, a little white wine. So just half a cup of white wine in there. Should balance out that flavor. And now I can go ahead and get this up to a boil. And obviously, you know, recipes, as we always teach our students here, they're a framework. So what that means is if you want to adjust something in there, change it to your preference. If you see with your eyes if it maybe evaporated a little too much on the boil, You know, obviously maybe add a little bit more stock or water to adjust it, but this is looking pretty nice now. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. Then we're gonna let it simmer for about 15, 20 minutes, and guess what? It's ready to serve.
Time to eat. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. When we come back, we're gonna do a little stew next, a little chicken stew.
It's time to get stewed.
It is indeed. So we got some chicken thighs that we're gonna use for our stew meat today. We got some fresh veggies here. So I've got some pretty different colored vegetables here, so we're gonna slice that up.
Ooh,
And it's already cleaned and ready to roll. So with our stew, basically the only rule is it needs to fit on a spoon, right? So when we eat it, so we can rough chop this, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
So that means that both the soup that we're doing and stew are really great ways to use leftovers, including if you have a frozen chicken or I guess frozen beef. We could do a beef stew, right?
Oh, absolutely. Although with a beef stew, I would probably would take the time and probably caramelize the onions.
Okay.
I'm not going to be doing that today, all right? But I like that sweetness that it adds.
Absolutely.
With our poultry here, what we're doing today to speed things up, we're actually using a pressure cooker. So no pressure, but just a little.
We're under pressure.
Well, yeah.
Well, the chicken will be under pressure.
All right, so I'm not going to brown any of these off, but I am going to brown off the chicken. So let me turn this on.
Okay.
Get a little fire going on there, and then I got carrot and some celery.
What about that leftover chicken I had? Can you use any of that?
I am going to throw some of that in there. We'll stretch it out a little bit.
And that was cooked already, but
it was.
It's dark meat, so.
So, yeah. So I feel comfortable just tossing that in right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to, I could do that at the end. But as you said, it's dark meat, shredded. We'll just throw it on in there.
And they'll be liquid. How long are we going to pressure cook that for?
It's going to take about 15 minutes.
That's it? From start to end?
That's it.
So we got a 15 to 20 minute soup and a 15-minute stew?
We're in a rush.
Do we have
I don't know
mashed
about you, but-
potatoes?
Well, we're going to have potatoes. We're not going to mash them.
No?
Let
Oh,
you
we're going
know.
to put them in the
Actually,
stew?
We're going to throw them in the stew.
Oh,
right?
red potatoes.
So
too.
we got some, so we already have some butternut squash in there. Let's turn this down. So
Yeah, that's getting blazing.
exactly. So just like your butternut squash, the squash takes a little longer to cook than our potatoes would. So I'm going to slice them just a little bit bigger.
Okay.
I don't want them to turn into mashed potatoes
There you go.
or under pressure in there. There we go. And we throw in the amount that we think we need. So next up, while my hands are still chicken free, I have some chicken stock. Got about 1.5 quarts in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to add that into the pressure cooker here. All right, so I'm just going to cut these up into some pieces here. All right.
Get your pan back on.
Yeah, if you want to fire things up there. All right. So raw chicken doesn't look very attractive, but
It doesn't.
it's
yeah.
going to taste really good when we get through with it. So of course, it's the more exercised part of the animal is, and it tends to be the darker meat, right? But that's also where your flavor is going to be as well.
More fat and cholesterol as well, but still less than beef.
This is true. And you know, if we wanted to, we could just go ahead and throw it right in, and without browning it off. But I think you get that caramelization, that nice flavor.
Absolutely.
Something that we want to capture.
And that residual flour also helps thicken that sauce in there, right?
Exactly. So and you know when we take it out, if I'm making this in the winter, I'm probably going to tighten up with a roux because when I go big or go home when it comes to this stuff. I'm going to make a big batch so I have enough for dinner tonight, and then I'm going to freeze a batch and have it another time.
That makes sense. Start flipping these guys for you. Think they're ready yet? No.
Start tossing them around a little bit when they're ready. In the meantime, I'm going to put in my 2 bay leaves.
Did you want any seasoning on this?
I am going to season in with a little salt and pepper.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add a little bit of white wine and reduce that down.
See, you're getting stewed while making stew.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Not quite.
Well, we brought up nothing but our best boxed Pinot Grigio. All right. Now, if I was home, this is more wine than I'm going to need. If I was home, I have no problem taking care of that.
Absolutely.
But here, we'll just cook with it. And we're on the clock and all.
Yes.
So.
Well, a little more.
All right. I'm going to add since it's dry time, I'm going to throw this right in here.
Okay.
A little oil. Before you can flip it here. I'm waiting for the comment
What's the comment?
that you can smell that thyme.
Oh my goodness. Smell of it. You see the steam coming up? All right. There we go.
All right. This is the part where I get impatient. You know what I do at this point?
Just,
If I'm trying to
just
stuff?
saute it.
That's
Yep.
it. And toss it around.
I don't blame you. Would it have been easier then maybe if we were just taking the whole thigh and floured it and seared it in there and then cut it up?
You can,
So-
and if I have time to let it cool, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not patient.
We're
Again,
cooking quick today. Leftovers cooked quickly.
Yeah, when I get home the end of the day, it's, you know, at our house, whoever gets home first makes dinner.
There you
So
go. Now you ready
I'll
to
be
throw,
quick.
throw your wine in
that's
there?
it. We're gonna throw our wine in, our flames off. You know, this is low octane, so we're not gonna get any real flame here like we did before.
Aww.
It's kind of anticlimactic when it doesn't catch on fire, is it?
We'll have some fire in a little bit for you. Because
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sure you've
we
seen
will.
some past episodes where we've had some nice, you know,
Yes.
gussets of fire, marshmallow, but not with
Yes.
this one.
We've made the crew paranoid more than once here when we get the cameras and overhead shots.
That's why I like these tongs from Ergo Chef, because you can sit there with the silicone side and just stir if you're doing a sauce.
There you go.
So you're just gonna dump that right in there then?
I am. We're going to put. I'm going to let the alcohol evaporate off just a bit more, because with the lid on, some of that will evaporate out, but I want it all to evaporate out of there.
Well, it does smell good. So,
It does indeed.
so the invention, somebody's out there working on it.
Okay. So here we go.
Where's Bill Gates and the technology people?
All right. And since you have the tongs, let's get a little more of this shredded.
You want it in here first or right in there?
I can go right in there. It's already cooked.
How much would you like? Carefully measure out. How's that?
There we go. Perfect. All right.
Why waste,
So-
right?
Exactly. So this goes on. We're going to crank this baby up in just a minute here. And when we come back, while this is working, we're going to work on some dessert.
Oh, yeah.
So come back and join us for more Dish It Out. And we are back for dessert.
For dessert, and talking about leftovers still, this is part of our homage, if you will. Did I say, is it homage or homage? Anyway, leftovers. This is a recipe from Michael Chiarello from the Food Network. And what to do with leftover. This is actually sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. Say, you know, if you have some left, look, big
Either
piece
or,
out of that. That's,
yeah.
like, that's my size slice.
Is that lunch today?
Yeah, it could have been. So basically, you just take out the custard, in this case, sweet potato or pumpkin, which
Okay.
you have. Just scoop out all that custard. Get it down to the bare shell. Take my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, just crumble it up very fine with your hands. Just take that shell out. Throw it right in my food processor.
Okay.
I mean, how much
Still
easier
saving
can
more
this
for
get?
later.
Of course.
Okay.
So this will, I have 4 ramekins here. I'm sure this will be enough for the 4 ramekins. Should I do a little more custard? Are you
Yeah.
concerned?
No, I'm not concerned. I just don't want
It's
you to
only-
waste that crust
it's
in
only
there.
2
That's,
ounce. Oh, did I get enough of it?
I think so.
All right,
Thanks.
so I'm just
We're
going to
good.
go ahead and keep pulsing that. All right, so just really pulse that very fine. And voila. You can also use graham cracker crumbs. Would be very nice
Sure.
with this. But what else are you going to do with the shell if you scoop out all the custard there? So we just take a little bit of this. You can see how beautiful this is. Just put that
I don't
right
know
there.
that they could.
Can you see
Let me
that?
do this. Let me just reach right in front of
Oh.
you and be rude.
It's fine.
Pardon me. See? Now that's crummy.
Why don't I do these? And if you'd be so kind, you want to scoop, what do you think? 1 big scoop on top?
Yes. One big scoop will work.
So,
All right.
so we're just going to get that, and you can even use this spoon here. Just kind of swish it down a little bit. All right, so you're the scooper there.
All
and
right.
then I was going to let you have the most fun part, too.
Ooh.
Because
Fire.
what is creme brulee? Brulee meaning to torch, and creme is usually a custard. So this is a great way to use up leftover pumpkin pie or leftover sweet potato pie. Do you have a preference on which one you like?
I like the sweet potato, actually.
Now we have our pumpkin pie crust as our base. We have the custard. Do we have just enough?
We do indeed.
If not, we can always go back and get a little more.
Portion control.
Yep. And of course, I had a little extra of this. I could have put a little bit more crust if I wanted to and raised them up higher. But just in a ramekin, a lot of times we'll use the disposable foil ramekins if we're going to give them to people so they can take with them. But we just put a little bit of sugar on there. We have the torch that Chef V gets the fun part of actually torching it. And we're going to have our nice, probably if we had a little water on our spoon, we could have made it a little smoother if we want. But this is leftovers. We want it to look good, smell good, taste good. Home style is fine. Oh, there it is.
Fire.
There it is.
Now these torches, actually, you can see it pushing the sugar around a little bit. You got to be careful because when the sugar gets hot, it can create some serious problems if you're not careful. Just want to brown that
probably
off.
not a great idea to do it on top of a linen either.
No, we're trained professionals.
Absolutely.
So we're being careful here. You want that sugar to melt, make a nice coating on there.
Nothing better with creme brulee than when that spoon hits the top and goes crunch, right?
That's good stuff.
I think we got a little excess sugar on some of these.
I think so. Who did that? Was that me?
That was you. I'm not pointing the finger.
Okay, we'll just look at the pretty ones.
At least you didn't line up.
So we have some soup that's ready.
Oh, yeah.
We got some stew. We got stewed before we got fired up. I don't know if that was such a good idea.
That's probably what the excess sugar is.
Yeah. And so we'll have some dessert. So we're going to put it all together, and then we get to eat.
Oh, my favorite part.
The favorite part. So we'll be right back with more Dish It Out.
It's my time, my favorite time, my favorite time.
It is. It's time to sample and eat, and yeah, it's all looking good.
All right, let's see.
So first things first, we got 3 bay leaves in there, right?
2.
2, okay.
See if I can find them.
There's 1.
1. There's the oregano.
Ah, yes. Wouldn't be chewing on that stalk either.
Let's see.
Fishing for bay leaf.
Fishing, yeah. Where you at? Where you at? Ah, I see them. I took a leak out.
Okay.
I'm ready to plate up.
All right.
How about your stew? It's ready to
You
depressurize?
know, it beeped. We're at 0 here. We're ready to
that thing's
relieve
been
some
under pressure for a while, yeah.
It has been. So I use, when you let these the pressure out of these things, the steam goes, it's live steam, and not anything you want to go near. Steam will burn you in a hurry. So I'm just going to cover it with a cloth here. And make sure we're shut down. Good, we are.
I'm scared.
Kind of anticlimactic now, right?
Yeah, that's not like a facial steam. That's like a take your face off steam.
Exactly.
Right?
All right. I'm going to let that go just a little bit longer.
All right,
you know what?
I'll plate up my soup.
Quiet it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Plate up some soup.
All right. So let's go ahead and bring this right over. Need my my side towel.
So our squash is fork tender now.
It is. It's beautiful.
We don't use a fork to eat it, but
no. But I'm just gonna garnish. If I had some fresh thyme, I'd probably use a little fresh thyme. But I'm just gonna put a couple.
No time for that today.
Yeah, a little chive there, and if I want. So there's one I got to wipe down that.
All right.
And then this is more classic presentation, nice, like you would use for French onion soup. Look at that, beautiful, all the meat and the veggies. And again, this was Aisha Curry's mom's leftover chicken soup. And I don't think there's going to be anything left over from this today. So, beautiful. You're still letting off the pressure?
I'm still letting off steam. Better just back off for a little while.
There we go. Oh, jeez.
There we go. Now I
like
flip
you
my
broke
lid.
something. Now you flipped your lid.
Okay. Ooh, steamy goodness in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That's
definitely hot.
Delicious.
All right. Let's see where our potatoes are soft. All right, nice hearty stew here.
And I know you love the crock pot, but pressure cooker, much better when you're worried about time, right?
It is indeed. And the other thing is, I put my ingredients in while they're nice and hot. With some crock pots, you get a little worried if they're not a little more modern and up to date. Are they going to hold their temperature all day long? So.
And like you told, nice
little garnish there, a little parsley on there.
And like you said before, often you would use a roux to thicken that up if you want. But I think, soup. We got a thin stew there. I like that,
Yeah, depending on the time of year. If it's wintertime, I might want something a little more hearty and tighten it up a little bit. But No need to today.
That looks delicious. So we
That's
got
it.
chicken soup,
Chicken soup,
chicken stew, and for dessert,
a little sweet potato brulee.
oh
Yum.
yeah. So what
All right.
are we starting with first?
Dessert. Life is short. Dessert first.
Hey, isn't that Jacques Therese?
That is Jacques Therese. Absolutely.
A big old bite of that. How is it?
It is as good as it looks.
I think I may like that better than eating the pie by itself. We want stew?
Well, I have 1 spoon left, and I'm trying some stew here.
I'm going for my crock. Chicken soup.
I'm gonna leave that line alone.
Yeah, see? So Michael Chiarello's recipe from Food Network for using the leftover pumpkin pie, or in this case, sweet potato pie. And Aisha Curry's recipe for using leftover chicken or turkey. Look at that, veggies.
Oh, that's good. All good stuff. Something simple, easy to make at home, and all good.
And I'm eating some of that as soon as that thing's done taping. So,
You'll notice I only did 1 bowl.
oh, come on.
I'll share.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining us on this episode of Dish It Out. We'll see you next time.